and the opposition Labour Party candidate Peter Obi won, we understand, the country's largest state, Lagos. We also know that the ruling All Progressives Congress candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu has won the small southwestern state of Ekiti. Still too early to predict who will win the actual presidency now. We are starting, though, to see more results trickling in throughout the day. We're hoping to join our West Africa correspondent, Manny Jones, who is in Lagos at the moment. We're having a few problems with the line, but just to update you, the Electoral Commission in Nigeria saying it is the oppositional presidential candidate Peter Obi who has won the most votes in the vast commercial hub of Lagos. I'm pleased to say that to tell us all about the significance of that, we can join Manny now, who is in Lagos. He was a third-party candidate. Some will be surprised, I guess, by this, Manny. A big victory for him.
Yeah, I think, even though he was predicted to win by some polls, because polls are so unreliable here, and also because Mr. Tinubu was, that's Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress, the ruling party, he was the governor of this state from 1999 to 2007. So people did think there was a chance that he'd win it. So even though Mr. Obi was projected to win the state, I think in their hearts many Nigerians didn't believe it could happen. And there's a lot of joy, particularly from young Nigerians on social media, at this victory.
Is that what swung it for him, Manny? Was it the young that were energised by him that showed up to vote?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we visited a number of polling stations across Lagos on Saturday, and in all of them there was a strong contingent of young people. We spoke to a couple of them who said that they were first-time voters. They decided to come out because they're disproportionately affected by issues like unemployment, by the poor economy, and they wanted a leader that represented their interests a little bit more. And they really thought that Mr. Obi, who they see as somebody who's cautious, who's frugal, who's not so interested in kind of the trappings of power. They really see him as a credible alternative to the two parties who ruled the country since it transitioned to democracy 24 years ago. So I think definitely the impact of young Nigerians in this victory in Lagos can't be overstated.
But too early to read too much into it because, of course, Lagos is a place that is got a very high proportion of young people. Are we getting results from any other states that indicate Mr. Obi's doing well there too?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really important to stress that this is just one state. And actually the turnout, early indications are that the turnout is not as high as people expected. There were 7 million registered voters in Lagos. We're not quite sure on the total number of people who showed up on election day, but it looks like it's about 1 million or 2 thereabouts. So certainly not a victory for Mr. Obi nationwide yet. So far, only one other state has announced its result. That's the southwestern state of Ekiti. That went to Mr. Tinubu. The other two parties says they will be questioning that, they will be challenging that. So it's going to be a really long process before we find out who's won this presidential election.
Manny, how are things there today? Is life continuing as usual, or have people chosen to stay home, perhaps a bit nervous of what could happen today?
Yeah, I think there's a touch of nervousness there. The streets of Lagos are definitely a lot quieter than they usually are. I mean, traditionally, if traffic was as it was, Lagos is known for its terrible traffic. Traffic was as bad as it usually is. It would have taken us an hour to get here, and we're here in about 20 minutes. So definitely things are quieter. I think people are staying home cautiously, looking at results trickling in, looking at social media to see what the reaction is, and waiting to see what happens.
And Manny, what is everyone saying about this new electronic voting system that was used? There was a lot of hype around it. Did it perform well?
No, people aren't too impressed by it. This was meant to be a new beginning for Nigerian politics, transparency. Results from polling stations were supposed to be uploaded onto a portal straight after polls closed so people could get an idea of who was winning.